Before John Hanchette left the university at the end of the last school year, I used to tell people that I had the best office at the university because I had a Pulitzer Prize winner as one neighbor and a Franciscan friar as another.
John and I have been friends since he was a reporter back in the Buffalo News days, but we really got closer after we came here. In fact, we took the same last name. We're both known by the name Weeble.
Even people who had never visited St. Bonaventure before never mistook Hanch for a friar.
John, I have to tell you, when I first met you, you were incredibly intimidating to me. I mean, you've won a Pulitzer, for God's sakes.
When I first came to St. Bonaventure, I, of course, didn't know anybody here.
But then when I met you, it completely diminished. You know, I saw you in sort of your floppy academic garb, and I thought, you know, here's a guy, you're cool.
I'll always remember when I came for my interview how kind and helpful John was to my wife and I.
Hanch was an instant friend. He was just a friendly person.
When you were here at St. Bonaventure University, you always used to come to me ever so inconspicuously, and you'd request prayers from me and the friars at St. Bonaventure.
To be able to have a guy like John Hanchette as a colleague was an incredible privilege, and it was even more of a privilege to have him as a friend.
Your requests over the years for prayer on so many different levels has had a profound effect on me as a Franciscan friar and as a person.
You know, just talking about Bonaventure, talking about his career, and we had followed his career, and for us it was really like a thrill to meet him.
And I discovered very soon that I could just walk into his office, say something, and immediately he'd start in on some wonderful story.
And he's a natural-born storyteller, so once he gets going, you just kick back and enjoy the stories. It's not a problem.
I think maybe the first story he ever told me was about sitting around with a drinking buddy of his, George.
Once he heard me start talking about Lake Champlain and things like that, he was like, ooh, you know something about that.
His buddy George had told him that his wife, Laura, had told him that if he didn't stop drinking, she was going to leave him.
And we both swapped stories of cats because we both adore cats. We both live in houses with our houses run by cats.
Gears were meshing in my brain. I said, hang on, wait. George, Laura, drinking? I said, who was your buddy George? And he said, oh, it's George Bush.
As a historian at the John Hanchette National Historic Site and Tap Room, it's really my privilege to be able to share the story of John Hanchette with visitors who come here.
About 11 years ago, Hanch and I taught a class together here to freshmen in the School of Journalism.
A lot of people don't realize that his time in Washington dates all the way back to his coverage of the first Battle of Bull Run at the American Civil War.
We were so oddball that there are probably 10 or 15 young men and women still walking around in the Northeast confused about what they learned.
During his coverage of the Spanish-American War, he's the one who termed the phrase Rough Riders for Teddy Roosevelt.
He knew everybody and had a story about everybody. He didn't, not just the big, huge names like George Bush and presidents and senators.
He's kept busy. He's gone undercover with the recent Nuns on the Bus story.
He knew Jennifer Flowers, not perhaps in the biblical sense.
He actually put on a habit, passed himself off as one of the Little Sisters of St. Hoboken.
Just drop a name, throw out any name, and just lean back and let him tell you everything you wanted to know about them and things you were never going to know from anybody else.
That was a great experience, and I wish John the very best.
Without you, I'm going to have to tell the dean, no more 8:30 classes unless you can import Hanchette for a semester.
Thank you for the way you've inspired me to be a better minister at St. Bonaventure University.
What you've given to all of us at St. Bonaventure, I think, is immeasurable.
Hanch, I'm going to say it again, you're the only guy that I've ever told this to other than my father. I love you, man, and best of luck to you. I know the future will bring you nothing but good things.
I inherited his office, a great honor.
All the best. Love, Bays.
You're missed. We love you dearly, and take care.
I'm in your old digs. Thank you. And by the way, thank you for being a wonderful friend.